Genre: expository text. The fortunes of fragrance. Caption: rose blossoms grown in the Atlas Mountains of Morocco. Our sense of smell plays a significant role in our survival. It helps us detect poisons, smoke from a fire, toxic gases, and other dangers. Our noses can tell us a great deal about something that is unfamiliar or questionable. For example, a piece of rotten fruit may look beautiful, but its smell lets us know that it is not edible. For centuries, doctors have used their sense of smell to identify infection or disease. Fortunately, there are many pleasant odors as well. From earliest times, people have sought ways to preserve the lovely scents of flowers and herbs. Capturing aromas. Many plants contain volatile oils. These chemicals often repel insects, but they smell good to us. Early humans discovered them while crushing or bruising leaves, fruits, and bark. Before long, people found ways to release and use the oils. They noticed that soaking rose petals in water resulted in a scented liquid. They also learned that simply burning parts of aromatic plants would scent the air. People soon started to mix powdered resin, or tree sap, with honey to form lumps of incense. They placed the incense on hot coals or in ornate burners to produce a perfumed smoke. In fact, the word perfume comes from the Latin words per and fumum, meaning through smoke. Over time, people developed other means to capture fragrance from plants. They squeezed the rinds of citrus fruits or boiled the leaves of such plants as lavender and peppermint to obtain their oils. Later, they found that steam could extract oils from both fresh and dried plants. After the steam releases volatile oils from plant material inside a pressurized chamber, it passes through cooling tubes, where the oils become a separate liquid. This technique of steam distillation is still widely used today. Copper distilling chambers in use at a perfumery in Grasse, France. The petals of certain flowers cannot stand up to the heat of steam distillation, so people learned to press them gently into animal fat, which absorbs their fragrance. The fat is then washed in alcohol to draw out the fragrance molecules. After the alcohol evaporates, only the flower's fragrance remains as something called a concrete. This process, known as enfleurage, is both time-consuming and expensive. Today, solvent chemicals such as hexane are used to extract fragrance from delicate flowers. Trading in aromatics. Most fragrant plants are quite portable, so their distribution through vigorous trade was widespread throughout the ancient world. Depending on its availability, a treasured aromatic resource was often a more valuable commodity than gold or silver. Along Silk Road trade routes, Chinese merchants offered camphor for sale and purchased cinnamon and sandalwood from India. Egypt imported large quantities of myrrh. Caravans carried frankincense hundreds of miles by camel from Arabia to buyers in Greece and Rome. Eventually, Romans used so much incense that cargo ships were sent across the Mediterranean to speed up the way that supplies were replenished. Trade in aromatics increased during the Middle Ages, after people in Europe were introduced to the perfumes and spices of the Far East. But Europeans could buy these items only through merchants in the Middle East. Traders from that region had become the dominant players in the market and often charged extremely high prices. This monopoly on aromatic goods seemed impenetrable, so European explorers sought trade routes that went around the Middle East by sea. The enduring power of perfume. In the modern world, trade involving fragrance materials is as brisk as ever, but chemists are the new explorers. Over several decades, these scientists have flowers, jasmine, rose; pods, seeds, vanilla pod, anise seed; bark, cinnamon, birch; leaves, peppermint, patchouli; roots, rhizomes; vetiver root, iris rhizome; learn to isolate the fragrant molecules in natural plant oils and engineer synthetic replacements for others. Synthetic fragrance chemicals are derived primarily from petroleum. They are usually less expensive than natural materials because supplies are not affected by weather conditions or crop yields. Still, many of the highest quality perfumes require a small percentage of ingredients derived from real flowers. One perfume company maintains its own fields in the south of France to grow the special kinds of rose and jasmine needed to produce their best-selling product. Many companies use a process called gas chromatography to identify the molecules that make up a natural flower's fragrance. The molecules are then manufactured and blended to make a fragrance that simulates the real thing. Demand for aromatics has only increased since ancient times. The production and sale of fragrance products make up an industry that is now worth billions of dollars. History has shown that as long as people seek beautiful aromas, the fragrance market will continue to be big business. Early 20th century perfume bottles were often works of art. Wood, sandalwood, cedar. Berries, black pepper, juniper berry. Citrus rinds, lime, lemon. Sap, resins, frankincense, myrrh.